Hello everyone, Gideon here, and today what we're going to talk about is the difference between homosexual reprobates and simply confused people. So there's this gentleman online who personally messaged me, and he was really concerned about this. I think what he was a little bit upset about, that there wasn't a clear cure for homosexuals to become straight. He didn't really accept that lifestyle, but again, it's a very touchy topic. It's very sensitive. It can hurt people's feelings. So I'm actually doing this for him, and again, other people who also were on the sidelines watching this and are also really concerned about this. Again, for the trolls out there and whatever relativists who hate on me, I really don't care what you guys think. Anyway, so I can understand why it's so freaking frustrating to try to help someone from the homosexual side to become a straight person, especially a straight Christian. And it's very different from an example of, like, let's say getting an atheist to become a Christian, right? It's a lot more mental, it's a lot more intellectual in that way. Sure, there may be some atheists who do have some type of emotional or some type of artistic boundaries that make it hard for them to believe that maybe for some atheists. Or let's say with communists, sometimes just showing them the facts of, hey, look at a capitalist free market society and see the numbers on it is actually a lot greater than a communist country. And sometimes people could be transferred that way. So why is it so frustrating for getting a homosexual person to then become someone that is straight, but not only straight, but a legit Christian? Look, in the Bible, it has all the answers with relationships. With the Bible, it's something that has been underestimated throughout history, but as time went on with scientific studies on social behavior and interactions with people, that there's been ways where people figured out how to have a healthy parent-child relationship, how to have a healthy brother-brother, sister-sister relationship, how to have a healthy friendly relationship, you know, making new friends, husband-wife relationships. So the Bible has a lot of answers like that. So why doesn't it have an answer exactly for homosexuals? There's so many ways how the Bible helps us to understand how to have better relationships with people in general. So again, why not homosexuals? The reason why, it's actually quite simple. And yes, it is really sad. It is really sad. But the thing is that there really isn't an answer. That's it. And the Bible, you know, the Bible kind of answers it for us in Romans chapter 1 after verse 20. So again, I'm not saying that there is no hope for those who are confused, but those who are reprobate homosexuals, that's the thing. You can't fix something that wasn't even meant to be fixed. Right? That's my point. It's like we're trying to fix something that is supposed to be like that. So we get so frustrated because we're trying to fix a certain model of this device, but there's no room to fix it because there's nothing to fix about it. It is what it is. So if I were to go on, you would kind of understand what I'm trying to say. Okay, so again, the difference between homosexual reprobates and simply confused people. Let's start off with the simply confused people. Okay, so what are the simply confused people? Some of you have saw for yourself when that one young man from Family Fed has finally came out of the closet. And I've read some of his testimony, and that is the sign of a confused person. He said in his own testimony, and I'm saying it not only from him, but other people have this experience as well, that one, he had homosexual feelings or thoughts that came to him as a young child. So he's been battling against it, and it got to the point, long story short, where he concluded, hey, this is probably the way I am. I have no choice of matter. And guess what? A lot of other people had that experience as well. The sad thing is, again, they're tricked. They're tricked by evil demons, by a certain culture that they are around. If they are around a certain environment that especially advocates for that type of behavior, you know, most likely. So, you know, again, other people have different cases. There's been people who had Christian parents who definitely are against that behavior, and somehow they turn homosexual, right? So, you know, again, the thing is, there is an evil active spirit world that is trying to get to your mind, that is trying to tell you what you are when really you're not. You're not that at all, okay? Science has already proven that there is no gay gene. Maybe there is some type of environmental factors that causes you to be gay or causes you more likely to have that type of behavior. Really, when it gets down to it, okay, it's evil spirits trying to get to your mind and telling you what you are when really you're not. Also, just other things with confused people. There may be some people who are confused because they were sexually molested by someone. If for some weird biological factor that happened within their body as they got molested by the same sex, that their bodies start to get actually confused of what sexual orientation they are. Another example, again, the environment that they're in. There's been some schools where teachers looked at some students and said, hey, you're gay, and then, you look at these people as these authority figures, and then you start to get a little bit confused, or these kids start to get confused. Oh, I guess I'm gay. There could be bad relationships, especially with women on this end, with lesbianism that I know of. Maybe they had really bad fathers, okay, who misused them, who mistreated them, who abused them, and eventually they start to hate men that way and want to go for women. It could be a woman who had various boyfriends who mistreated them. It could be sexually, emotionally, mentally, intellectually, and just cannot find that true relationship with a guy. So then she can't help but try to find a healthy relationship with a woman, which I'm not saying that is a healthy relationship, but is the best thing in her mind that she could find. So eventually, with having those bad relationships with men, those type of women could eventually just hate men, most likely just as far as an intimate romantic relationship goes. So eventually they go for a woman. But again, those could be some type of confused people. Okay, so these are the people I feel bad for. I honestly, just in my heart, I really feel bad for, and there's a chance for these people to be saved. There's a chance for these people to be reached out, shown another way, and to go in a different direction and see what God has a plan for them in a beautiful lifestyle of how God intended it. God intended a heterosexual relationship. I got nothing against those people. So that's why with that one young man from Family Fed, I hope to God he's just confused and he has room to change. Another type of confused person is, again, they have these thoughts that they're attracted to the same sex, but in their heart or in their mind, they may be thinking, but this is wrong. I know deep down this is wrong. I know something strange about this, and I'm not really sure. Those are the people that need guidance. They really need guidance. Maybe even for some, in my mind, I'm stretching this, even for some who may have had a sexual relationship with some guy of the same sex, that maybe in the end they felt really bad. Like, this is actually really weird. I've heard of some cases where some people tried out homosexual relations for the first time and they freaked out. Like, they thought they were gay and they're like, whoa, this is actually really weird. This isn't what I thought. Again, those people have a chance. So now let me get to the homosexual reprobates. Those people I have a problem with. This is something that you could check out in the Bible in Romans chapter 1:20. These are the people you really can't fix. And a lot of people would harp on the Old Testament, saying the Old Testament is really homophobic, is destructive, until Jesus came. Jesus just totally, changed the whole dynamic. Just to let you know, Jesus said that he came with the sword to divide father and son, mother and daughter, brother and brother. Because why? He's coming in with truth. In order for true love to come, truth must come forward in order for us to understand a real relationship for us to have. Let's check out Romans chapter 1 after verse 20. Now, just to let you know, in these verses, it's not only about homosexuals, it more so goes in between homosexuals and atheists, or just anyone who just really hates God. So it goes on saying in verse 21, because that when they knew God, they glorified him not as God, neither were thankful, but became vain in their imaginations, and their foolish heart was darkened. Okay, so they recognize God throughout his creation, but they choose not to glorify him. They choose not to praise him of the creation that they lived in. Professing themselves to be wise, they actually became fools and changed the glory of the incorruptible God into an image made like to corruptible man and to birds and four-footed beasts and creeping things. Okay, so in a way that almost sounds like atheism, right? Atheism worships a monkey, or you know, eventually with communism, because communism in its base philosophy is atheism, worshiping men, right? Worshiping like Stalin, Lenin, and so forth. So it goes on saying, wherefore God also gave them up to uncleanness through the lust of their own hearts to dishonor their own bodies between themselves, who changed the truth of God into a lie and worshiped and served the creature more than the creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. Okay, so again, it's worshiping the creature rather than God himself. For this cause, God gave them up unto vile affections, for even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature. And likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of women, burned in their lust one toward another, men with men, working that which is unseemly, and receiving in themselves that recompense of their error, which was meat. So because they really did not want to retain God in their knowledge, the point is they really hate God. That's what it is. They really hate God. So because of that, God literally takes away a normal part of their mind and puts in there a reprobate mind. That's what it says in the next verse. And even as they did not like to retain God in their knowledge, God gave them over to a reprobate mind to do those things which are not convenient. Okay, they're not convenient at all. All right, I mean, it's not convenient to put your penis inside someone's butthole. All right, that's not a convenient act at all. Like, that part just absolutely goes against science. It goes on saying, being filled with all unrighteousness, fornication, wickedness, covetousness, maliciousness, full of envy, murder, debate, deceit, malignity, whispers, backbiters, haters of God, despiteful, proud, boasters, inventors of evil things, disobedient to parents. When you meet these reprobate homosexuals. What I mean by reprobate homosexuals, I mean these people will not be forgiven by God. Like, they totally want to go against God and enjoy their own sin. As it says in the last part, without understanding, covenant breakers, without natural affection, implacable, unmerciful. They're not looking for mercy at all here. Who, knowing the judgment of God, that they which commit such things are worthy of death, not only do the same, but have pleasure in them that do them. They have pleasure in that sin. Okay, so there could be confused homosexuals who may have committed that act or just simply had thoughts or some weird confusion within their hearts, but they know that it's sinful. At the same time, they don't like it. Like, they don't like what they're doing. They wish they could change. Again, that's like a confused person. But these reprobate homosexuals, it's like they love what they're doing and they want to just put a middle finger up to God. They have a burning lustful desire. That's what it is, a burning lust. Like, they really want to do it. They don't care what anyone thinks. So when it comes to, oh, you're so hateful towards homosexuals because, you know, we have this different lifestyle, and oh, you hate, you know, those type of homosexuals, they're snakes. They're real snakes. They want to play with your heartstrings. They want to play with your emotions to make you think that in some way they're still human, when actually they really like what they're doing and they want to dominate over you, right? It's almost like Gollum in Lord of the Rings, where, you know, you're being mean to him by taking away the ring from him and he's being all pitiful, but once you give it to him, he actually backbites you, where he is just so merciless or vicious. And like, that's kind of like a heart of a real homosexual reprobate. How do I know this? Look, I have way too many experiences, okay? I was not in places where I've wanted to be, where I've seen these type of activities for myself. You know, so for those of you who are like, oh, you're so mean to homosexuals, you don't understand what they're going through. No, I do. I probably understand it way more than you. And even for you homosexuals who say like, oh, you don't understand like what we go through, guess what? I had confused friends for myself. I've seen what homosexuals have done to other people's lives. Dude, you can't trick me. You can't pull on my heartstrings. So for you guys to think I'm really mean or malicious or I'm in some type of bubble or whatever. Guess what, dude? I've been through Sodom and Gomorrah in my own life, and I still remained godly as far as, you know, basic morals go. And a lot of my friends who really know me know that I've been through that type of stuff, you know, especially in college. But anyway, so then what about those homosexuals who say, no, but I'm a homosexual, but I'm a Christian, so I'm saved or whatever? No, you're not. You're not saved. And here's something that you could test them out with. Basically, what you do is you go up to them, simply put, you ask them, hey, do you believe in God? Yeah, okay, I believe in God. All right. Do you believe in Jesus? You know, usually homosexuals will have a hard time believing in Jesus, okay? But let's say that homosexual does believe in Jesus and says, yes, I'm a Christian, I'm a believer in Jesus, I'm saved, whatever, okay? All right, fine. Okay, so now how do you know that you're really saved? Here's the thing. Then you have to ask them, well, it's very clear from the Bible and even from what Jesus has said, okay? And a lot of people are gonna be like, oh, Jesus didn't hate gays and all that stuff. Well, no, he hates that act. If you look at Revelations, again, I just read Romans for you. Again, this is inspired by the word of God, all right? So that quote that I read from you from Paul, that's not coming from himself. That is inspired by the Holy Spirit, who is of the same nature as Jesus Christ. So yes, Jesus does hate homosexuality. He does. He's not gonna accept it in the kingdom. It even says it, that in the kingdom of God, there's not gonna be fornicators. There's not gonna be dogs, sodomites. There's not gonna be backbiters. There's not gonna be murderers, okay? It says that. So don't give me this crap that Jesus is so loving, he would even accept homosexuals and accept their lifestyle. That's bullshit. So then you just confront them with that. Okay, do you agree that homosexuality is a sin coming from the Bible, in Old Testament and in New Testament? And if they say no, well, guess what? They're not really worshiping the one true God. What they're doing is worshiping another God. If anything, worshiping themselves. Okay, so they're not saved. You know, if they think that homosexuality, if they want to do that, that's fine. They can still be saved. No, that person's not a Christian. That person is not a real believer in Jesus Christ at all. That person's gonna go to hell. Now maybe, again, maybe those people, that person at that level may be confused, and that person could still be helped. Okay, I'm all for that, to help confuse people. Maybe you could show them the Bible. Oh, actually, you know, it says this, and you know, I would be peaceful to these type of people who would approach me in this way. But I mean, if you're still stubborn and you're still thinking, yeah, no, homosexuals can still go to heaven and all that crap, yeah, you're not safe. Get away from me. Now, I do come from a libertarian approach where if I had my own society, I wouldn't force people to go to jail or force them to not, you know, break up that relationship. But I wouldn't have government to support that marriage. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't have government support marriage at all. You know, marriage should just be within the churches. And I would use my freedom of speech to speak out against that act. But again, I wouldn't really accept these people, even confused people, me personally, to come to church. I wouldn't want to do that. I wouldn't want to take that risk. And the reason why I wouldn't want to take that risk is because for me, being a youth pastor in Sanctuary Church, I don't want to take that risk because who knows? I mean, there could be insiders, there could be fakes, there could be people who want to act all innocent, but really deep down inside, they want to take advantage of some of our kids and rape them or be and you're saying, oh wow, not all homosexuals. Dude, I don't care. I'm not taking that risk to endanger people that I need to protect, you know, myself. Again, as a youth pastor, you're also there to protect. And guess what? In Sanctuary Church, well, here's the other thing. We're also empowered to kick butt, doing a bunch of peace police, peace militia. So actually, if you guys do try to come and try to rape any of our kids, you better watch out because they might actually be able to strangle you out, choke you out. So I really would not take that risk to come over here to Sanctuary Church. But anyway, I really wouldn't take that risk for people to just come over, and I would try to help them out because I don't know, they could have a hidden agenda for all I know. But because I'm saying this, and for those of you who are confused, work something out. And you know what? I'd rather take the chance of you guys being afraid of me speaking out. And, you know, for some of you guys thinking, oh no, you're like hurting my conscience, or you're just saying such mean things. Okay, fine, I might be offending some of you, I don't care. But for those of you who may be confused, finally just be up on your toes and be like, you know what, Gideon's saying something right. There's something that he said that's really convicting in my soul. Because why? The thing is, if I were to, look, this is stupid, okay? If I were to say like, oh, we gotta like love these homosexuals and accept them and you know, be nice to them and don't tell them that's problematic, okay? You know, if I end up going that way, then even for the confused people will more so be pushed by an evil spirit world. They would more so be tempted to get into that behavior where eventually they would become a reprobate homosexual. And again, if I were to be nice and, you know, these are accepted, then guess what? The freaking predators of homosexuals would gladly come in and try to change and just overturn the whole church and try to put it in its lifestyle. I'm not gonna take that risk at all. And here's the thing that I don't like hearing from gay or homosexual people when they say, oh no, we don't agree with pedophilia or pedophilia marriage or polygamous marriages. No, that's bad, but homosexual marriages, that's fine. Okay, that's stupid, all right? Because here's the thing, because you came from a Judeo-Christian background where it is a strongly man-woman relationship, can't be anything else, that you're willing to go so far coming from that background saying, oh no, but not polygamous and not bestiality or whatever, but no, but look, our marriage is equal to man-woman relationship. But guess what? If it weren't for that Judeo-Christian background, because of your logic, that there is no logic to it. Okay, there is no scientific logic, there's no godly logic, there's no moral logic of that behavior. You would eventually agree with polygamy, bestiality, pedophilia marriages. Yes, you would, because in your own basis, there is nothing. Why? You get to see in the Bible, before the 10 Commandments came, the Canaanite culture had that type of culture. Egypt had that type of culture. What else? Like, okay, later on with Rome had that type of culture where there was no Judeo-Christian background. Every time there's a culture out there, and I'm not saying all cultures, okay, but every time there are some cultures out there that didn't have that Judeo-Christian background, that they ended up with all these different type of sexualities that some homosexuals would say, oh, that's wrong, but ours is fine. No, it's not fine. Okay, it's not fine at all. All right, so without that culture, you would be saying something else. But because that culture exists, you say something different. So the conclusion, again, is confused people, they can be saved. They just need that humility. They need that search. They need that hunger for God. They simply need to be guided. They need more give and take with God. But for the reprobate homosexuals, I've seen it for myself. I've seen reprobate homosexuals that want to spread their lifestyle, want to convince people, want to act like they're happy. I mean, I guess they really are. I guess they really are happy with their own sin. But boy, howdy, I tell you this, they die early and they don't die a happy death. I've seen it for myself. These people are not good people. I would fight against them to the last breath. I would fight against these people. So I hope you guys learned a lot about this. I love you guys. I love you guys a lot. Please really meditate on this, really chew on this. I know that this could be hard for a lot of you people. Again, for the trolls and, whatever, the reprobate homosexuals who hate me or don't agree with me or whatever, the relativists. I don't care what you guys think. You guys are gone for me. All right, everyone. Peace out. Love you all. Mwah.